Welcome back to MG Midget, birth of Racecar, capturing my journey from car restoration to the 2022 MG Car Club Speed Series. Not long to go now, we're at the end of January, got the car back in the garage, and in this episode we're going to be looking to fit the Panhard Rod to the rear suspension. So one of the challenges when you push these cars to the limit is the rear suspension potentially can move left to right. There's nothing to stop it moving left to right on the rubbers and the mounting bushes. So as a result, you can start to get some sway in the rear suspension. So a recognised fix for this is a Panhard rod. So two components. You've got your main rod that connects over onto the lower axle, and I'm going to have to weld a tube for a bolt to go through here. This end connects at the top of this triangle mounting here, and this sits upside down around the fuel tank, and then the rod goes across the front side of the fuel tank. So let's see what's involved in that. Also, while I've got the rear end up in the air, I'm going to take the opportunity to put some lowering blocks onto the back to lower the suspension a little bit more. We've already got kind of soft lowered springs on the back, but this should take it right down, but still within the admissible 4 inches off the floor, and improve the handling somewhat. So this little block fits underneath the axle here with the spring pad underneath, and then the spring pad gets mounted underneath as per, and to accommodate that we've got some long bolts here. So what I'm going to do is undo this axle, lift it up, put the block in, put the longer U-bolts in, and then tighten it all back up. So should be a relatively quick job, I think. Okay, so now with the lowering blocks on the suspension, I'm going to have a look at what's involved in mounting this bracket around the petrol tank. Okay, so it's actually pretty tight round here. You can probably just see here I'm going to have to mount one of the mountings through the lip of the fuel tank into the boot floor. The main moulding again through the boot floor and through the tank lip, and then this mounting sits over here above the silencer. So I'm going to have to take that off, I think, to get the drill into where I need to be. So what I'm going to do is take the silencer off, mark that up, and then I can drill the holes and mount the frame in. Not the easiest of jobs because of the access. Only got a bloodied lip once when the Panhard rod fell on my face, but hey ho. All marked up now, ready for drilling some holes. So that's the mounting bracket in place, mounted on the lip of the fuel tank down here. We've got our first mount in place here, our first ball joint. It's mounted at the top of the tank here, and then this rod over here is straight through the boot floor. In order to keep it flat and square, put a couple of steel spacers underneath there. But that's rock solid and secure now. So now I can start to see what's involved in the other end. On this side, this is the driver's side, UK car. You can see I've fitted my spacer. So lowered the suspension slightly, and then I've got this tube and bolt. And this tube needs to be welded onto this piece here, so that then the bolt can go through it and the other end of the Panhard rod can secure onto that. So it means I've got to get that lower damper mounting off again. I'm going to have to linish and polish up the metal and get the welder out again. Okay then. Linished up the bracket then to give me some nice bright metal to weld. I've clamped on the tube, got around 1/4 of an inch overhang, pre-mounted the bolt. The bolt's going to be fixed, that's going to be welded in there as well, so we'll just have to slide over the eyelet over the end, but that's all ready for welding. So I'm going to get the welder out and weld this up. So there's our finished bolt welded on. The welding is not going to win any prizes, but it's certainly penetrated well, and that's not going anywhere. So we can now get this back on the car. And there's our bracket mounted back on the car, ready to take the Panhard rod. But before I can fit the Panhard rod, what I'm going to do is drop the car back down so that the Panhard rod is fitted when the car is on the ground with all the weight on it where it should be, because there should be no load to the side of the Panhard rod, left or right. So I'm going to drop it down to its working height, and then I can fit the rod properly. With the car on the ground then, I've got to fit the Panhard rod over onto this bolt here and onto the end of the frame here. So unfortunately there's about 10 to 12 inches worth of space to get under the car to be able to do it. So but that's okay, so we'll find a way and I'll show you what it looks like once it's on. So there's the Panhard rod all installed across the back of the axle, mounted the suspension, so that should stop any side to side movement of the suspension and give me some better handling. So once again, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for your comments. See you on the next video.